Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to SideQuest 13 of High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that wanted to be Joseph but ended up getting cast as the donkey. I am your
Hey.
host, Mr. Lova Lova, and with me, as always, are my co hosts.
I love a Cardinal here. Good to see you. Billy Kleaky Maka.
Merry Christmas to you as well, mate. Sherry.
Hi everyone, it's me, Mr. John Sherry, and Merry Christmas to everyone except Cardinals camp.
Oh, brilliant. Rounding this off, Tomahawk, Feliz Navidad, lover, Feliz Navidad, Cardinal, and hi, Sherry. How are you?
If you couldn't have guessed it, it's December 25th, which means it is the most sacred of all days, Santa Claus's birthday. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, everyone.
We got it. We made it.
And
Santa's birthday?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. That's what it. Yeah, okay. Must be famous for that.
It's definitely famous for that, mate. That
It's
is
on the
what it is
calendar.
famous for. It is on my calendar as Santa's birthday.
Everyone's
I
off
think-
work for it.
You'll find it's get what game you've asked for Christmas Day.
This is also very true. Yes,
Bingo.
it is the big day for getting the games. All the games. And we are here to discuss games. Usually in the High Scores, High Stakes podcast, we're competing in PlayStation games, but not today. Because it's Santa's birthday, we're taking a break from all the games challenges. And what we thought we would do, should I say, is I thought we could discuss our favorite Christmas gaming memories. Just a wee bit different, just to
Lovely.
make things a little bit different. But before we get into our memories, what I thought we could do is ask Cardinal, what are you playing?
Good to hear that on a festive Christmas Day morning. I have been tucking into my newly unwrapped PlayStation game. Wait for it. Yeah, I do.
PlayStation game?
Formula 1 23. Which
Of course,
I'm really
have.
pleased at.
Par for the course there.
of course it
That's-
is.
I'm excited. I get to use the wheel. Yeah.
Oh, suppose,
I mean,
yep, the blur.
I mean, at least it's the racing sim. It's not the it's not football, or it's not F1 Manager. So that's a step up, I suppose.
exactly. Physical,
true.
competitive racing challenge.
And it has a little map in the corner for you as well, so you don't
I
get
love
withdrawal
maps.
symptoms from maps. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And do you know, none of you own it, so you just can't beat my time. So I'm number one.
Well, none of us own it yet.
Yet.
There's always time to buy it just to beat your times and then never play it again. That's what we do here. That is what we do.
Thanks,
at
though,
High Scores,
Santa.
High Stakes.
That would explain why our play stats were so high, but our game minutes were so low. That's it. One
Yes.
and done, lads.
A lot of games played, no time spent in any of them. What got me the most about my Sony roundup was it said only 56% of my game time has been played on my PlayStation. I don't know what happened the other half because I haven't played my PlayStation 4 since February.
Good lord.
I always thought maybe it's remote play. Do you do remote play into your phone or anything? No.
No. The only thing I can think of is
Oh, yeah.
Little Lova plays on my old PlayStation 4, but he has his own account, but I suppose it's linked to my account so he can access the games on Plus and stuff. So it must be that. Because Sonic Mania was my most played game of 2023. I have not played Sonic Mania this calendar
Lover's
year.
neighbor is sitting on a big phone, big Android phone, just linked into his PS5, remote playing the life out of Sonic Mania.
I knew naming my PlayStation 5 on my network as Lova's PlayStation. Do not enter password. Password 1 was a mistake.
Just gotta write that down.
So F1 2023.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So Sherry, it's your turn. You ready for this? Have you prepared your ears? What are you playing?
Well, I finally finished Spider-Man 2. Get it out. Get it out. I might go back and platinum one day, maybe. I don't
Get it in
know.
the bin. That's what I
Famous
say.
last words.
I will say it did finish a lot better than it started.
Ooh.
The last like 5 hours or so was. I just like the whole time I was thinking, going, why wasn't the whole game like this? Why did it start so slow?
Oh,
But yeah.
dear.
It was actually I actually came away with it pretty positively rather than how I was in it previously. And then I did start not very far into it, like maybe like 2 hours or so. Yakuza Zero.
Ooh.
Very fun.
Well,
But it
cultured.
feels very old. Like
It
you can
is.
tell it. I know it is, but you could feel it. It looks very good though for its age. It looks very good. Like they've done a good job bringing it up to scratch. Like,
Cool.
but
It's
yeah,
good fun.
yeah, it's good. It's funny, which I always knew because people say it's like just very over the top B movie style. So I was kind of expected it, but it's very good so far.
Good. Good. Many a time spent in the karaoke club.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Yes.
Too much
Yes.
time.
It's very good.
Okay, cool. So Yakuza. What a game. What a game. Now that brings us on to Tomahawk. Tomahawk, tell me the part you've been waiting for. What are you playing?
Beautiful. Never get tired of that. I think I've played a game and completed a game that all four of us own. It's Hogwarts Legacy.
Wowzers.
I went back.
Completed.
I had to take it off the list, and it's done. And it was alright. I think the ending was just kind of fine, I suppose. The boss was a bit needlessly difficult,
Okay.
and as soon as it finishes, they do this kind of like the wrap up cutscene at the end, only
I
for
thought
you
you were going to
to
say they rap. So, oh my god.
They do the big Hogwarts rap. It's amazing. So they do their like final sort of they wind down the school year and everything like that, but then they basically give you this like final mission to go. You haven't finished your field guide. Off you
No.
go.
No.
Get off the train
So you can't-
right now.
So you can't do the final mission.
So they lock the they lock
No.
out the end of year like awards thing until you've hit like level 34 is the must be like the level cap, but you also have to have like the field guide basically complete. So they force you to 100% the game to get the last mission. I suppose if it's you winning the house cup and stuff like that, but
I
No.
might
Yeah.
just uninstall it then at this point.
No.
I ain't
no,
doing
like
that.
I think I don't know where you guys all got to, like, but I think the last two bosses were tough, but they weren't like. I think it was worth the difficulty spike, really. But the final boss, I think the only thing that saved me in the final boss was that each phase was an auto save
save
point.
point?
So whenever you die, you're not forced to go back to the very start because it's tricky the process, and unless you've modded all of your cooldowns to be really quick, you'd struggle on the final boss.
That is grim, and I wish I knew that going into the game because I have done none of the field guide apart from the missing pages. None of it. And
That's all I've done is missing pages, and every time you like complete it, it just goes, oh, but like now you've got to do more in the same area.
Nah, mate. Nah, I don't think so.
I was really let down by that, and I thought to myself, for a game that was reviewed so well, and yes, the playership dropped drastically over the last like couple of months. I think that's bad. I think that's bad for any sort of
mean,
game
every-
dev to go. No, you have to finish it completely.
No one even mentioned that though.
That is
And I listened to a lot of reviews for that game.
that is unforgivable. The unforgivable curse.
Strange design choice, but I just want to
Yeah.
wind it back momentarily because you mentioned you talked about a rap, okay, or Sherry talked about a rap, and I've asked for a Victorian era Harry Potter world rap. I just want to read it for you now, if I may, Lover.
You may, of
Absolutely,
course.
yes.
Can you rap
you
it,
s-
please?
Yes, this
So
is
the
set
spring-
in Hogwarts Legacy world.
Oh,
Victorian
yeah, I forget
push.
it, like turn of the century. Sorry to interrupt. I do forget sometimes when playing that game that it's like
Mhm.
early 1900s.
Really, you don't
That-
like smell the Industrial Revolution coming out your controller?
Not at all. I'm still looking for the A button on my controller. Never you mind about the Industrial Revolution.
It's called the DualSense for a reason. It has smell
Yeah,
vision.
steam powered. Right, anyway, Victorian potions bubbling with steam, in Snape's dungeon, a mythical dream, Haggar's creatures, mythical and rare, whispering forests, a magical lair. So step into this era where time stands still, a Hogwarts rap, a wizarding thrill. In the Victorian magic, where history blends, winged keys, moving staircases, a tale that transcends.
Wow. Harry Mack, watch your back.
Beautiful.
Well
Yeah.
done. 10 points to Cardinal Smith.
To Ravenclaw.
You could just say like he's literally wearing the jumper.
As the camera blurs it.
I mean, he's wearing a Ravenclaw jumper, so I'm going to take those 10 points off, so you're back to 0, kid.
Give him the Gryffindor, like
I'm
they do in
gonna
the movies.
give you
anyway.
10 more points for wearing a Ravenclaw sweater. Well done, Cardinal. Well done.
Excellent.
The one treehouse.
I mean,
But-
I suppose, Lova, we may ask what you're playing now, but I don't know how you're going to top that. We've just had the Hogwarts Victorian rap.
But I mean, I have no raps pre-prepared at all. In the off chance that someone might bring it up,
Shame.
I have.
Christmas Day.
It is Christmas Day. It's a Christmas miracle. Cardinal has brought content with him. Unbelievable.
You son of a...
I have also completed a game, Alan Wake. I got to the part that I remembered, and it was literally the last 25 minutes of the game, and nothing else. What a game, though! What a game! The ending is still great. A lot easier than I remember it, because I remember the getting to the well lit room being rather difficult back in the day, but it really wasn't at all. But yeah, great game.
Well-lit room. I still think it's just, I don't know if it's just bad narrative that way. It was like, the well-lit room.
What
and
else
the
would you
woman
call
just-
it?
I don't know, just the safe house. I don't know. I'm not the one who's an action game pretending to be a horror game, but there we are.
Yeah, true. But also, I have been withholding a game for Christmas because this is something real gamers do. And if you don't, you're not a real gamer. That's all I'm saying about it. I am going to spend Christmas and this week playing Exo Primal.
Fantastic.
Exo
Oh
Primal.
my.
Yeah, yep. I recently
Fun.
upgraded my internet and got Whisper It Xbox Game Pass for a year with my broadband. So I'm going to play Exo Primal the way Santa intended it on Xbox Game Pass. And also Spider-Man 2 because Sherry's obviously going to lend me his copy now he's done with it. No more excuses.
He's just going to put a
Speaking,
big scratch in the disc now and then hand it to you.
I know,
That's
like
a very kind gift from Sherry.
like the rascal he is, like the
And
rascal.
it's on the internet now. I mean, it's been agreed on the podcast. You can't take it back now.
He
I think
has
it's
to do it.
I think it's the
I
third
have
time.
to do it.
It's been the third time it's been mentioned on the podcast, so therefore the audience demand
It's
it.
the charm, yeah. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of demanding, the audience have also been demanding a Christmas special edition of Name That Game, and that's where we're going to go now. Here we go, the Christmas special of Name That Game. And the theme for today's game is shock, horror, you won't believe it. It's Christmas games.
Halloween? Oh, it's Christmas.
Yeah,
Eve.
it's
I
Christmas
thought
games.
it's going to be horror games.
Resident
It's-
Evil,
It's always horror
Capcom.
games.
It's Christmas games. Now, I did have a whole heap of Christmas games ready to go for this, but I thought a lot of them are too obscure. Like Santa's Great Adventure. Would anyone really get that? Probably not. So what I have done is I've widened the net a little bit for this one. So these are games that have had Christmas DLC, or they have Christmas themed levels, or they take place over the Christmas period, if that makes sense. Do we all understand?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
so
with
not,
you.
these are not exclusively Christmas games, okay? So for our new listeners, our first-time listeners, Name That Game was born of me spending far too much time on Amazon reading video game user reviews. I have selected the best of these reviews, and it is these boys' chance to guess the game based on the review. If they guess it after the review, they get 1 point. If no one can guess it, then I'll give them one clue. Then they'll get another guess. That will continue until 3 clues have been given. If no one can name the game after the third clue, then no one gets the point. So are you 3 ready to play Name That Game?
Born
Then-
ready and
Ho,
I'm
ho,
up for it.
ho.
Like the night before Christmas? Let's get going here. Game number 1. This game very clearly tells you what it is and solidly delivers a very enjoyable experience. At its core, it's a tactical first-person shooter but it has other missions and other things about it. You are part of a team of 4 players who have to work in co-op to pull off different jobs. Each player can build their character with a variety of perks and classes, each specializing to improve one aspect of the abilities used in game. You can go in guns blazing and face wave after wave of enemies, or the real magic of the game manifests in the ability to perform these missions stealthily. By carefully working in coordination with your team, you can pull off every level without ever firing a single shot. This option takes much more careful cooperation with your team, and as such, almost requires you to be playing with friends. While I love this game and it does many things right, there are some things it could do better. But they never say what those things are. Cardinal, Sherry,
Right.
Tomahawk, name that game.
I think I know what it is.
Coolio, say what you think it is.
Throw a guess out. Let's hear it.
Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition.
Oh. Anyone else want to take another?
See, I was going to say Payday 2, but I'm going to go for the one that was actually set at near enough Christmas, was The Division. But
Okay.
I don't think that. I know for a fact that's not right.
Okay. Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Payday 1.
Okay. Someone
Payday.
has named that game.
It's Mr. John
And
Sherry,
it
isn't it?
is Mr. John Sherry.
Well done.
Straight in.
Because, of course, Payday 2 had a Santa's Grotto DLC mission added into it in Christmas 21, I think it was. So Sherry has 1 point. Are we ready for
Easy.
game number 2?
Well done, Sherry.
Game,
Yes, let's go for it.
game number 2
Extra sprouts on your dinner.
is I got this game as a present for Christmas when I was 11. This
Okay,
game
good.
is this game is completely up to you and what you do. You can run around almost everywhere if you have the right keys. I think that it is an excellent game which includes killing, getting keys to escape. In my opinion, it can get slightly boring after a bit, and it's only 1 player, though you can create a new game. Gentlemen, name that game.
Only for the fact that I've been playing it. Is it Resident Evil 2, which is definitely not set at Christmas, which
not
probably has a Christmas skin, but who knows?
It's set in July.
You're set in July.
Die Hard. The old arcade gun game.
Okay. Die Hard, the old arcade gun game. Sherry.
I'm going to say Nights into Dreams.
Okay. A game famous for getting keys. No one has named that game. Clue number 1. It originally released in 2014 in Steam Early Access, and then it released on consoles in 2015, and then it also released on mobile in 2018. Gentlemen, name that game.
I don't know.
Yep. Rust.
Okay.
What?
I generally was like, I'm going to name a game on Steam.
I was trying to think of what came from Steam into consoles.
Lots of games,
I
to be
know.
fair.
That's the problem.
No,
Mhm.
I have no idea. I'm going to pass.
Think about the clues. You need keys to escape.
Yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm going to get the next clue.
You're passing? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sherry.
pass.
The keys to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Temple Run.
Okay. Nobody has named that game. Clue number 2. It was developed by Moldy Tooth and published by Team 10. Name that game.
Is it Hello Neighbor? Not Hello
Okay.
Neighbor. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what. There's a game called Hello
Aye.
Neighbor. Yeah.
I'll take that, yeah.
Okay. Sherry Cardinal.
Is it Hello Neighbor 2?
Okay.
I have no idea. Pass.
Okay. Nobody has named that game.
Oh.
Clue number 3, the final clue. It had a whole heap of DLCs, including, but not exclusively, Santa's Workshop and The Walking Dead. Name that game.
Ooh.
Euro Truck Simulator.
Cardinal wants to move on this section, so he's throwing it.
I-
Any
Heap
guess
of
out there?
DLCs. Heap of DLCs. Euro Truck Simulator.
I know I'm not gonna get this title right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a Goat Simulator.
No, I'm gonna say The Escapists.
Oh, somebody has named that game. And it was Sherry.
Cardinal. Oh.
Sherry is winning this 2-0, gentlemen. We have one more
Yeah.
game. We have one more game. It's all academic, but it's a good game, so I want to read it out. So here we go. Game number 3. I was a huge fan of the original versions of this game. So I was hopeful that they would be as good as I remembered almost 20 years later. The great news is they are. Graphics still look good considering their age. Controls are fine, and gameplay is exactly as I remember it. The voice acting is interesting, but things have come a long way in 20 years, so I'll forgive that. It just makes me laugh at some of the lines the characters say. The fact that almost all the other characters are unique and not just clones says a lot about what they managed to make at the time. It's an excellent story, and whilst I obviously knew the key parts, there were little bits that I had forgotten that add so much to the overall narrative. Fans of the original will not be left disappointed, and it was a great story refresher going into the new game, as I'd forgotten the ending of the second one. Gentlemen, name that game.
May I?
You may.
You may, yes.
The Metal Gear Remastered Collection.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of glazed over for a second there.
Oh dear. That's not going to help you guess the game.
Not at all.
Look,
No.
Tomahawk's had a big feed. You know, it's Christmas Day.
It is Christmas Day.
Bound to happen. He's had
So-
he's had a sherry.
He's had 2 sherries and 3 mince pies.
I'm done, lads. Just put a fork in me.
Throw a game out there, Tomahawk. Why not? There's a lot in that review.
Yeah, if you were paying attention.
Mhm. Well, if you weren't, that's on you, mate.
Sequels. Is it? Pass. I'm just gonna say picks the cat just to annoy Cardinal.
Oh, it's Christmas. Don't bring that up.
Sherry.
I'm thinking. I don't think Cardinal's right, because where's the new Metal Gear Solid?
Indeed.
Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Indeed.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize we were having episodes in the future. There we are.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm gonna pass on this one. I honestly don't know yet.
Okay. Nobody has named that game because only Cardinal said a game. Well done, Cardinal. Clue number 1. It was originally designed to be a Saturn game, but it never released on the Saturn. And the name it released as was not the game it was intended to be. And I'm going to go one further. It was originally called Virtua Fighter RPG. Gentlemen, name that game. For a bonus piece, because it is Christmas and I'm wearing my Santa hat, I'm going to give you an extra wee bit of that clue. It created a whole new genre of games, and the developers called that genre Free, which stood for Fully Reactive Eyes Entertainment. Name that game.
Was it? Streets of Rage 3.
Okay. A Mega Drive game.
Huh.
Well known for its voice acting.
I don't know.
What was that film? What was that noir detective game?
LA Noir.
L.A. Noir.
Okay. Made by Rockstar.
Which never had a
It's
sequel.
famously made for the Saturn.
Well, it was made by Team Bondi. Sherry. That's an enormous clue, by the way.
I know I'm trying to think of Sega made RPGs, and the only one I
Mhm.
can think of is Yakuza.
Okay. Nobody has named that game. Clue number 2. It was created by Yu Suzuki, and it was at the time the most expensive game ever made. Name that game.
I think I know what this is. Can I go first, Cardinal?
Yeah,
Or do you
put us
want
out
to?
of our misery, please.
Yeah.
Is it Shenmue 1?
Okay.
Oh, is it Shenmue 2?
Okay.
It's Shenmue 3.
It's definitely not
Somebody
Shenmue.
has named that game,
Yes.
and it was Sherry and Cardinal.
Oh.
It was Shenmue 1 and 2, the collection thing that came out there.
As soon as you said Virtua Fighter RPG, I was like, what has Sega did? It's a good RPG.
Yeah. My third clue was brilliant. My third clue was
Looking for sailors.
can you tell me where sailors hang out? So that means at the end of the Christmas edition of Name That
Eesh.
Game, the final scores are Sherry 2.5, Cardinal half, Tom nil point.
Slipping.
It was a bag of coal for Tomahawk.
Stick a fork in him.
He's done. He's done. Never to recover from getting beat by Cardinal and Name That Game.
I'm just gonna. I'll see myself out, lads. I'll see you in the new year.
Yep. That means the only thing we have left to do here in this episode is share our gaming memories of Christmas. So let's get to it. Which brings us on to our main section, the challenge game. Only there is no challenge game because it's Christmas and we're taking a break from competitive gaming because we don't want to split up the band just shy of our first year anniversary. So what we're
No
going to do
family
is,
fights on the Christmas day.
that's it. No domestics here. No domestics here, please. What we're going to be doing is we're going to share some gaming Christmas memories that we all have. And we are going to skip Cardinal and go straight to Sherry. And we're going to mix up the running order just for once. I just thought we'll try it. Why not? It's Christmas. Sherry
Why
never gets
not?
to go first on anything. So here we go. Sherry, fire away. Tell us one of your Christmas gaming memories, mate.
Okay, so I think Lova will know what year this was, but whatever year the PlayStation 1 came out, what year was
95.
that? 95. So Christmas 95, I only wanted the PlayStation 1. So Christmas morning comes and goes, no aforementioned PlayStation 1. So maybe about halfway through the day, my dad goes to me, hey, little Sherry, go into my bedroom and get me some batteries. I've left them in there. They should be sitting on the bed. So I dander in there and I notice batteries that he said would be there. They were indeed there, but also was about 3 or 4 PlayStation games. So me being a good boy that I am, lifted the batteries, left the room, and never mentioned what I seen. So I walked in and give him the batteries, and he's staring at me like, is he going to say something? I don't think he's going to say anything. So I didn't. So maybe later on the day, I think he said there was something behind the tree, and it
I know
was the
he-
original controller.
Something
Control-
behind the sofa?
That's where the PlayStation was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there was a controller before that. No, behind somewhere else. I don't know.
Don't know,
But-
not my memory, but
But then he was like, "Yeah, he's oh, there's something behind the sofa. Can you pull it out for me there?" So I pulled it out. It's just this big box, all wrapped up. And he's like, "Oh, go open it," and there it was, the PlayStation 1 in all its glory.
what a Christmas that was.
It
What a Christmas
was.
that was.
It's like
yeah,
we fun-filled game in there to get
yeah,
it.
yeah. My memory of that, because if people don't know, Sherry and me are brothers. Hard to believe because I'm
What?
so handsome.
Shock.
I know, right? It's just
What a-
Biggest twist this podcast has
it's-
ever seen.
It's really hard to believe because I'm so
This
handsome
eps-
and he's Sherry.
This episode's being directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
You've
Um,
just,
what's
you've
real
just,
anymore?
This
you've just
was
outshone EastEnders on this
I
Christmas Day
know.
special.
Boom, 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 boom. My memory of that Christmas is the story is accurate. Yeah, 100%. I remember that whole year, Sega had been pushing a lot of stuff. They were trying to get rid of their inventory for the Mega Drive, so they were bundling the Mega Drive 32X Mega CD together for like £99, I remember in about May time, that's what I wanted for Christmas. And then June rolled round and they released the Saturn out of nowhere. And then I wanted the Saturn. That was the thing I wanted. Is I remember asking my dad, and my mom for, I want a Sega Saturn. I want a Sega Saturn. That's what I want. And then Christmas rolls round, and yeah, I remember Dad asking you, Sherry, to go get the batteries. You came back with batteries, and he's like, "No, they're the wrong batteries, little lover." If you don't mind going to my room and getting the batteries, I also went into the room. Sure enough, there was Ridge Racer and Cyber Sled sitting on the
Maybe.
bed, but also batteries. So I shout down, "What batteries do you need?" He said, "Get me the C batteries." So I picked up a pack of C batteries, went back down,
Wow.
give my dad a pack of C batteries, and he's like, "Thanks."
These kids aren't
Yeah,
getting
idiot.
this.
So then he sends our older brother up the stairs to get batteries. And he came down with Ridge Racer and Cyber Sled. And then my dad was like, "What is this? Oh, that's weird. We don't have a PlayStation. Oh, look, there's something behind the sofa." And yeah, and then we pull out the PlayStation and it was all wonderful. What a Christmas that was. What a Christmas that was. It
What
was
they
my
don't tell you is Lover throwing a wobbly at the end of the day going, I just wanted a Sega Saturn.
Yeah, I do remember later on that day, my dad pulled me to the side and sort of going, "Are you happy with the PlayStation?" Now we had put on the PlayStation, put on Ridge Racer. I honestly, totally forgot what Sega were, what a Saturn was. And he was like, we went looking for the Saturn. I played it and then played the PlayStation, and then the PlayStation would just look better and play better and sounded better. And then yeah, that was it. Sega
T-Rex.
were
The T-Rex.
Sega
demo.
were almost dead to me. You will notice one recurring sort of theme when it comes to my house at Christmas is our dad loved messing with us with the big presents, because my story's kind of similar to that one. My dad loved hiding the big presents about the house. There was many a Christmas where he would have made up like clues, and you would follow them around the house to get yourself to the big present. It was
class.
really, yeah, it was cool. Like, it was cool. But yeah, the PlayStation 1, Christmas 95, what a Christmas. Because I remember our uncle coming down, I think it was Boxing Day. And our uncle's famous for, he always had the best stuff. Every time you went to his house, he had something new, and it was always something really cool. And I was like, man, I wish we had that. And it was the first time I remember him coming to our house and going, "I wish I had that." And then he went and bought a PlayStation really shortly after Christmas, just because he played Ridge Racer and saw the rolling demo. Remember them? Rolling demos of Tekken. And he's like, "I'm going to buy that." And I think he bought it in January the next year. But yeah, it was really cool. That was probably the
Oh.
coolest thing. The uncle who got everything was jealous. That was cool as hell. Loved it. Loved it. Any other memories you want to share, Sherry? Or
No, I think that's the one that always stood out to me. So it was.
Yeah. yeah, that's the big one that always sticks out in my mind as well. It really is. Awesome. So we'll go then to Tomahawk. Tell me, Tomahawk, what is your enduring Christmas memory?
So I had a couple here, and there's only really one story that stands out for me personally. Anyway, over the years, we've had a couple of consoles. We had the N6, being like 3 or 4 siblings. Yeah, we always had to get the one console. There was no consensus. It was just what the folks decided. This will do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And fair play to them. There was no I don't believe there was any sort of probing on our end. They just kind of off their own back picked it. So
Yep.
kudos to mum and dad on that one. So over the years, we'd got the Xbox 360, the Nintendo 64. I think the one that sticks out for me most is when the folks got us the Wii, because we like our youngest brother at the time. So what coming down, the drums were set up. This is the big one. So it was Guitar Hero World Tour
Yes.
was the bundle, I
Oh,
think, at the time.
band in a box.
That's
Yeah.
it. Fantastic. I still remember there's a picture knocking around the internet somewhere with the 4 of us on all the different bits, and in the background on the TV there's No Sleep Till Brooklyn failed 13% into the song on medium
Yes.
because one, if not all of us, were just trying to figure it out. Really, I think that was the year that the guitars may have just slightly changed the configs or something, or nobody knew how to use the drums in time correctly.
Incredible. Am I right in saying, did Guitar Hero World Tour on the Wii, did you have to put the Wiimote in the guitar? or was it
You did,
standalone?
yes. No,
Yeah.
no, you
Yeah.
had to put the controllers into, I think, all of the respective ports for, I think,
Yes.
even for the drums as well. So because there's the four of us, we had the two guitars, the drums, and I think there was a microphone. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we thought powder about with them anyway, see which sort of ones we could figure out. It turns out that none of us have a collective mind hive, or hive mind, I should say. We
Mhm.
were absolutely terrible at it. So put that to the side. Figured all six of us in the house will play the Wii Sports, and it was the package that had the golf clubs, the tennis racket, all the works for the attachments. Friend of the podcast, Andy Games, being like 6'3" at the time, still decided put the tennis racket attachment in, serve up, smash the light in our living room.
Oh, classic.
Classic Wii collateral
Way
damage.
carnage.
Just in the middle of the living room floor, it was just, do you know when time stands still? And everyone just kind of looked and went, "You're dead." You know that. And it's on Christmas Day of all days.
What are we gonna do when Mum finds out?
Oh, she was like in the doorway, basically telling us that dinner was ready. And next thing you know, she just saw his just big gorilla hand come down with the controller plug in and the like the wee lampshades just into a million pieces. So that Christmas stands out pretty much
Incredible.
top and
Rest in
tall.
pieces.
Incredible.
Absolutely. And then the typical, we got, I think, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics tie-in games. I think there was a
course.
big bundle on that. So everyone's sort of doing the. It started off, everyone gives it a lot of gumption, and they're jogging on the spot in the middle. And I think by the end of the day, I think my dad had figured out you could just lie down and swipe the hand.
Yeah, just cheat the non-motion plus controllers.
Oh God, absolutely. So no, that was that was very much a Christmas gaming experience that absolutely was well worth discussing today.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Completely different to Sherry's. I love a bit of wanton carnage and destruction for no reason.
Just-
it. I thought
It
for a
would be
second.
Christmas if something breaks. To be fair, like
I
That's
thought for a
true.
second you were going to say put the controller through the TV, and I was like, I know one of those people. Yes, we all saw the videos.
You've
Would've
been
been so
framed.
close.
£250.
Lovely new lamp bought. Bang, beautiful.
easy
Mum's happy.
peasy.
Anything, is that the only one, Tom, or are you getting anything
Well,
else?
yeah, the other one was the Xbox. Yeah, and it sort of started my unhealthy Call of Duty experience at the time. Just the ridiculous man hours put into COD 4 at the time. But
Yep.
it was a dark period in my life. We'll not discuss too much on a bright and cheery episode.
Then that brings me to Cardinal. Tell me, what is your gaming Christmas memory, man?
Sure, I think I have a couple, but the one that will always emotionally stick with me was 1997 Christmas. I had just started school, and our whole family had just suffered some loss recently, but we had decided we were going to get a PlayStation, and there was no. I don't really recall any great gamemanship of releasing this PlayStation. This was a
Mhm.
gift to me and my brother. Um, I'm a brother of you both. No. We're all brothers. No. we just got this PlayStation, and we were, of course, a couple of years late to the party. But it had Formula 1 97, Worms, and I think PES, International Soccer 98 was in there somehow.
What
And
a
it was just
great game that is.
it was my first console. My brother's a bit older, but it was just perfect. We set up teams in Worms, saved it on the memory card, had a league, all day. it was very bonding
Unreal.
and nice.
Unreal. The original
So-
Worms was so good.
It
So
was
good.
incredible.
Yeah.
You customize everything.
Mhm.
Having
And
a
it was all
league
new.
table, having a league table for Worms sounds unreal.
It's pretty hardcore.
Sounds
like, I
very-
love that.
It sounds very Cardinal Smith, even at a young age. It's like we should have a league table. We should do top-down
Yeah.
strategy games. It would be amazing. I
But
hope
one-
there's maps.
I
One
will
day-
say, up until we had Formula One '97, me and my brother had little model cars, like this size, and we had a folder where we devised a game where we set up our own teams. We chose 2 cars that were the same, and then we had stats and a table split out of how we had a budget, and we made decisions based on the budget. And then they decided how fast the cars could go, how they handled round corners, and how they braked down and up the hallway. And we made different tracks and different rooms across the house.
And
Very much starting.
Finally,
to
we
make
got
sense.
computer games.
it really does. It really does. I can just imagine tiny little Cardinal just starting school playing Worms, going, older brother, one day I'm
This
going to have
needs
a
more
podcast,
spreadsheets.
which is going to be nothing but Worms in a league table.
Dream
Well,
on,
it
kids.
was half right.
And then
That's
it
a-
all went south. Next year, I got Final Fantasy VII. The other gaming memory I have at Christmas was this is a kind of I knew it was coming, but I had to wait until Christmas Day to get it.
The worst
So-
ones.
Ugh.
November 24th, 2000 was the
Ooh.
release day of the PS2.
It was, yes.
I drove to Coleraine. I was driven to Coleraine. My goodness, I could drive.
Just cruising down the road as a
Stole a car.
Yeah.
toddler.
I
Young
gotta get
Cardinal
one.
just-
Be careful, Dad. This car only has a turn ability of 2.
Get my teeth measure right. So the A26. Anyway, we got one, right? But I wasn't allowed it. I just
Until
it was
Christmas?
launched, but I wasn't allowed it until Christmas Day.
Oh,
I
that
was
is
I like that you were. I like that
great.
you were taken to buy it as well, and they went,
Yes.
"See this? You can't have it yet."
It was
Spat in your
wrapped.
face.
It was wrapped and set under the tree in full view that night,
That
and
is
it's just every day. Is like, can I just like try it out? Maybe I need to make sure it works. You know?
I mean, that's a very good point. Maybe
That's
it
a
needs,
good-
maybe it
very
needed an
valid.
update. Have you did you think about that?
Mhm.
They're like- Not until you finish that league with your brother in Worms.
You started it 3 years ago.
It's game week 252 next week. 4 more weeks to go.
The title of this-
It's actually
Champions
the
League
longest
move.
serving podcast of all time. He just doesn't know it yet.
I just never told anybody.
One day in the future, we'll release the Cardinal Smith lost tapes of High Scores, High Worms, the podcast.
That's it. We played to the game 3000. Not much has changed, but we finally have a winner.
That would break my heart if I knew exactly what I was getting for
It's
Christmas. It
impressive.
was under the tree, and I had to wait. It's grim. That is
It's a
4
lesson
full
in
weeks.
patience.
It's 4 full weeks.
Mhm.
I think I would have snuck down at night, carefully unwrapped it, played a bit, and put it back in the box.
Salty.
Lover
You
would
ripped
be
it at
there
the
with
back.
with the iron to like melt the sticky tape.
Still tape, the hair
You-
dryer.
you get- You get out PlayStation or the PlayStation in the morning, and it's like you load it up. Continue save. Oh, someone must have used this memory card.
That must be my PS1 one. Oh. Amazing. I would kill me. I wouldn't have the
The
patience
wait,
back.
yeah, the anticipation, I think, would be too much to
Deadly.
bear.
Mhm.
I think
would
it'd be worse now that the internet and social medias exist
Yeah.
more extensively because everyone will be posting pictures of what they're playing and
Maybe
I-
don't take your kids to buy their Christmas presents.
I think
Food
they
for
would
thought.
destroy social media.
it would.
Why not
One's more
both?
extreme than the other.
I mean, potato, isn't it?
That is amazing. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Madness. Madness. Well, that brings us to me,
What
ladies
about
and
you?
gentlemen. And that means that we are going to go with my gaming memory, which is Christmas of 1999, when I wanted one thing and one thing only. And that one thing was the Sega Dreamcast. the Sega Dreamcast. The only thing I asked for that entire year was I want a Sega Dreamcast. I remember going out when Sega announced the Dreamcast. I remember there was the official Dreamcast magazine. Issue 0 was released about a month after they announced it, and it just was nothing but a marketing campaign for the Dreamcast. It was just cover to cover adverts for the Dreamcast. It showed you the games, it showed you the console, it showed you the controller, it showed you everything. That's all I wanted. It's all I wanted. And I remember waking up that Christmas day, and this is where Dad's penchant for hiding the main present comes from. I remember going down into the living room and unwrapping all my stuff. And one of them was a joint present for all of us, and it was a PC. Now, it was a PC that my dad assured us it was for schoolwork, but sitting
Wink,
beside
wink.
the PC was a VideoFX 3D card. Because of course you need one of them to use Microsoft Word and Windows 98. Of course you do.
Processes Excel faster.
So needless to say, that PC was not used for schoolwork very often. It was used for games. So it was. But I remember the very last present I unwrapped, which had no name on it. I remember that distinctly. There was no name on it, and it was Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast. And when I unwrapped that, my dad was like, no, sorry, that's not yours. That's for my older brother, because he had bought a Sega Dreamcast when it came out in November. And I was like, all right, okay, there you go. There you go, love his older brother. There's your game. Which was weird because I knew he had Sonic Adventure for his Sega Dreamcast. I was like, I don't understand why did Dad have Sonic Adventure? You already had it. So then fast forward, we have our dinner later on in the evening. And then at the end, pretty much the end of the afternoon, maybe 5, 6 in the afternoon, I think it was. And we had been awake since about 5 in the morning at this stage.
Man, you've already watched the Queen's speech.
Man,
You're already past that.
It was one of the worst speeches ever because not once did she reference the Sega Dreamcast. Not once. She did talk about the PlayStation 2 3 times. Once it comes out next year, one cannot wait.
Real gaming is upon us.
One is awaiting greatness.
Oh, sorry, please go back to your lovely story.
Anyway, so fast forward after dinner, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Mum and Dad will always do the same thing every Christmas. Did you get everything you wanted? So, of course, being the polite child that I was like, yep. And Dad's like, are you sure? And I was like, yep, sure did. And he's like, I think there's something behind the lamp in the corner. So we used to have a lamp with a big old tablecloth over it. And sure enough, what was behind the lamp? But the Sega Dreamcast. And it was incredible. And he's like, that Sonic Adventure isn't for your older brother, that's yours. Go up and play it. So yeah, went upstairs, set it up. And the first game I played my Sega Dreamcast was the demo disc. And it was Trick Style. And I remember being blown away by how Trick Style looked. Funnily enough, the VideoFX card that came with the PC also came with a demo disc that also had Trick Style on it. And Trick Style on the Dreamcast looked better and ran better than what it did on the VideoFX.
It's the first time Love had double dipped in games.
Mm-hmm.
This
was
your nexus
incredible.
point.
The Sega Dreamcast. It was my mum and dad who got me that. The best console ever. Games library wise, 100%. The best console ever. Great Christmas. But yeah, my dad loved that. Let's hide the main present somewhere and pretend we didn't get it.
Just you said something there about like you had the games for like your brothers, because I remember this in our house. Whenever like say we had the PlayStation, when we did have the PlayStation 2 as like the home console.
Yep.
Our Christmas piles as such would have like maybe 2 games that I had picked, maybe 2 games that my 2 brothers had also picked. Was this the same in your houses as well?
Pretty
you
much.
Had your individual games for the collective console.
Yeah, pretty much. The PlayStation was for me and Sherry. The Dreamcast was mine. It was for me. But yeah, with the PlayStation, every Christmas, obviously, because back in the day, when you got games on your birthday and Christmas, if you were lucky, like, I remember one Christmas I got Tomb Raider 2, Tomb Raider 3, and I think you got something, Sherry. I can't remember what it was, but it was a fight to play the PlayStation, to play your games, and then it was like, you've had your time, give it to Sherry and let him play his game type thing. It was always that. But yeah, no.
Did you ever delete by accident or save over memory?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Don't even.
Yeah, I mean, the
That
PlayStation
just-
1 cards only came with 15 blocks. And if memory serves, Final Fantasy 7 used 5 blocks. Am I right?
I think I only used one,
Did it only use one? There was a few games that used.
but there was plenty of
good
games. I
few.
think Championship Manager
took the whole
uh,
card, didn't it?
took the whole card,
Mhm.
all 15.
LMA Manager, I think, also did the same. So it did. So there was memory cards. We had memory cards. We used to have one of those. This is a random memory. One Christmas, the Christmas after we got the PlayStation, we got one of those PlayStation cases. So it was a big plastic shell that had a shelf that slid out, and you would put the PlayStation in. All the cables would go into your TV, and the TV would sit on top of the shell. And it had
Aye.
two big boxes in the front for your controllers to sit in, but it also had like little slots for your memory cards, and then on top of it was like a rack so you could store your games standing up
Oh,
on
class.
the thing. That's a random memory as well, yeah. Those things, you don't get them anymore. You don't get them
I think
anymore.
they should. I mean, given the size of the PS5 now, could you imagine the shell case it's going to come?
But on the converse of that, the size of TVs back in the day, like a
Yeah,
20-inch,
The big, deep top
CRTs.
TVs as well. Yeah.
how they built those things to withstand a CRT is beyond me. But the PlayStation was just fine in its big, hard-bodied shell, its armor. And that is that. I think that brings us to the end of gaming memories. I'm sure we have
Feeling all
loads more.
nostalgic now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember about my TV. I got a TV for like a CRV TV for doing my GCSEs or something like that, and but it was like huge out the back, and I remember like carrying that around with me when I like went to uni, when I went to travel around, when I moved down to Dublin for a while, and I got on a train holding this big TV and carried it out of O'Connell Street all the way down to my apartment. This
That's-
massive.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there's like
That's-
not that big a screen, you know, obviously. But
Yeah,
it's
like
just
yeah,
so deep.
deep and heavy. I'm sure you had pins and needles getting off that. train.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
carrying
my
the
legs.
TV.
he actually missed the stop. He had to get someone to help him up.
Please help me, sir. He's like, what are you carrying that massive TV for? I've just moved here.
This is who I am now.
I only own one thing in this world, and it's a massive CRT. Incredible. I just imagine.
Love it. That was a
younger-
lovely story.
Yeah.
was a lovely story.
You just tore it to shreds.
that was a good story in fairness. CRTs were enormous things. So they were. But you moved them around when you were a kid. Like it took two of you at least.
No,
But you moved them around like it was no one's business. But now it's like, oh, not moving.
think
the
if
TV.
you wanted to play 2-player Command and Conquer, Red Alert, you needed 2 TVs.
Exactly, and 2 PlayStations and link cables.
You're lucky if you could fit it in the back of the car. Be driven around by your parents.
The trailer for the TV. Get the TV trailer, love. Right, before this derails any further, let's get to the wrap up section then. That is that. The first ever High Scores High Stakes Christmas special episode is wrapped up like a Christmas present that has been forgotten about in the back of the sofa. It's probably a PlayStation 1. It might be a Dreamcast. No one knows until it gets unwrapped, especially if it's my dad getting that present. That's exactly where it is. And that leaves us with, well, 2 jobs to do. Number 1 is the social wrap up, and it's been made nice and concise. If you want to see all of our episodes in video form, if you want to see where we are on social media, if you want to get in contact with us by sending us an email, whatever, the easiest, best place to do it is highscoreshighstakes.com. That is it.
Website.
We have a website, Carl.
A
That's right. You
whole
haven't been here since
website.
we started pimping the website. Yeah. We have a website now. It's amazing, and it is very much still a work in progress, but it is getting there. It is getting there, and should be done early New Year. It will be complete and fully functioning and up for everyone's viewing pleasure. But it is live now, and it does have a lot of functionality. So if you want to find out where we are on the internet, highscoreshighstakes.com. Which brings us to the last job of the episode, and that is to wish all of our listeners, everyone who's listened to our inane ramblings and watching our terrible, terrible gameplay all year, just want to say thank you very much for giving us your attention for however long it has been. And to everyone listening to this, I want to say is have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And with that, all that's left to say is I've been Mr. Lovelova. This has been High Scores, High Stakes. See you on New Year's Day. Love you all. Bye.
Merry
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.